Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with a review of the S.H.Figuarts Kyoryu Blue and Kyoryu Green set from Zyuden Sentai Kyoryuger. So we are continuing with the Kyoryuger Figuarts. This is a bit of a later review for me and I apologize, but we, after red with the exception of gold, we got the rest of them in two sets. So this one happens to be blue and green. Honestly, I think the matchups were kind of strange. I don't really have that huge of a problem with them, but in my head it makes more sense for green and black to go together, since they were sort of a duo at times, and then blue and pink, since, I don't know, red, blue, and pink made the Megazord. I don't know. They were just kind of strange matchups for me, but I don't really care nonetheless because I'm getting the figures. But so anyway, I'm still continuing to try out this new format with the turntable, so let me know how you like it. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into it because I have rambled for like 45 seconds about literally nothing. So everyone's favorite part first, the box, which is actually pretty neat. It's a closed off box with no see-through part, but you got you got Figuarts falling over in the background, but you got pictures of the Figuarts right there, which look really neat. You sort of have this stylized look with the, you know, battery teeth and all that, and their little symbols there, which ends up looking pretty neat. On the side here, you just got their symbols and their names, and Kyoryu Blue falling over from me hitting him. Sorry, buddy. And then their names here on the side again. And then on the back, it just sort of shows iconic poses. You can get them in as usual. Nothing too special. It is a bit of a thicker box since there's two figures in it and a lot of accessories, but a neat box nonetheless. Nonetheless is the phrase of this video. Accessories-wise, they're actually pretty well done here. As you can see, their accessories tray is pretty massive. They're kind of divided by side. Here's blue and greens. Damn it, blue, if you fall over again, seriously. As you can see, you get quite a wide variety of hands for each of them. Some of these fall over because you know how that goes. But you have closed hands when you get them out of the box. You got some various posed hands, various hands for holding the weapons depending on if you want it to be the gun or sword, all that fun stuff. Up here you can see they each have their armed-on accessories to switch out. I'm going to be showing that for blue and not for both of them, and I'll explain why. Partly for time, and now I'm wasting that time explaining it to you. And then you both get Gabu revolvers and Gabu calibers. He's holding his. I'm like, this is the invisible one. It's very high end. And they both have, which I'm going to use the caliber to get out, their own individual little Judenchi. Alright, so as you can see, they're very tiny, and I need to cut my fingernails. But they're very tiny. They are individualized. As you can see, that's blue there. There's no writing or anything. And, you know, it's just kind of generically blue and yellow. But they are individualized. There's blues. I'm putting it right back in there so I don't lose it. And here is greens, which, like I said, is individualized. You can see the green there, and then the yellow there. The lighting got really weird for a second, but they're very, very tiny. You definitely want to be careful with them. It's really neat that they did include them, and the fact that they do have individualized colors as opposed to just being generic, but still be very careful. Since I just used it, here's the Gabu caliber. As per usual with the Sentai weapons, it's very well done. As you can see, the details look really nice on there. The gold paint in particular here looks nice and shiny. Just very well done on that. And then here we have a look at the Gabu revolver. Yet again, like I said, very well done. Nicely detailed in there. They got all the sort of nooks and crannies. Looks good. Unfortunately, none of these come with a Gabu cannon, which is really annoying. I'm not sure why none of those came with it. And then you have their individual weapons. You have blue shield here, which you'll be able to have him hold once I get the armed-on pieces on. But these are pretty simplistic weapons, but they look pretty nice here in this form. And then you also have greens here. Also looking pretty nice. And then you do get this extra piece here you probably saw, which is pinks. It is for combining into the sword mode. So all of them kind of come with random like stray pieces for its, you know, final sword mode. So yeah, as you can see, they're very well accessorized, so they did a really good job on that. Now I'm going to use blue for the base for the articulation demonstration because they all share the same articulation, and I don't have any loose joint problems on either of them, so there is no specific issues on there. But overall, Figuarts articulation in general is great. So you got your 360 ball joint here, some great range of motion, swiveling here, double elbow joint here, you can swivel at the fist, you got a 360 joint here on his leg, swiveling, double knee joint here, you've got a nice little ball joint here on his foot, so you get a solid range of motion there, and you have a toe action joint there. And then you do have articulation here at his waist and his chest. His chest is a bit hindered by the sash, but you still get it. And then you have the you know, neck and head on a nice ball joint. So as you can see, all around great articulation. If you're not familiar with Figuarts, they have great articulation going on there. And then you do have the little shoulder pads here, which move around so that you can sort of cover stuff up. I had the same problem with Kyoryu that just pops off, but that's actually convenient. With Kyoryu Red, and now I can show you how to do this, we're going to switch off the armed. Right there, you just pull that off. It was a little bit loose because I was obviously doing this before, and then put this back on here. So you have the armed on joint. But anyway, like I was saying, I had problems with Kyoryu Red as his arm seemed a bit skinny, so as you can see, there's quite a bit of space right there, which really bothers me. For whatever reason, I attached myself to the shoulders in the Sentai Figuarts game, and so I just really want them to be good so that they sort of hide any sort of issues you might have with them. So with these, I felt they weren't the best. They weren't like as good as maybe the Zyuranger mold, where they do a really good job of hiding sort of, you know, excess stuff like that. But it's not that huge of an issue. I think in the grand scheme of things, I would more consider it to be a nitpick, considering these are still really good figures, but it's more of a nitpick, but I still wish the shoulders were a little bit better. I think the mold's overall a little bit skinny, and the, I'm going to set him aside because we're going to focus on blue right now, and the shoulders are just really strange on it. But overall, it's still a good looking figure here. We're going to take a look at him in a spin in a second, once we get him to be presentable. That seems presentable enough, right guys? No-san's ready for this. He's got this. Overall, as you can see, detail-wise, it is a good-looking figure. They got all the details on him right there. The blue color looks good. I'm really weird showing the legs, but they got some really good cloth movements there. You can see there that they got this sort of scale effect on the arms really well. The belt there, which also can tilt to the side, is really well done. The helmet, also very nicely done. A really good mix of the shine for both the visor and the helmet itself. Just overall a solid job on the details. Like I said, the mold does seem a bit skinny, and I do have some problems with the shoulders, but overall, still, as you can see, it's a really good looking figure, and like it feels especially like a nitpick since this line is dwindling, and you know, these are the best figures of that representation. The only other complaints, which I'll bring up probably again and again, is it is a bit hard to switch out the armed on piece. As you can see, it came off quite easily, but when you're first doing it, it does feel a little bit strenuous, and I always feel like I'm going to break it, so be very careful when you're doing that, and that is a bit of an annoyance, and something that really hasn't happened in the review thus far, but the hands also seem to have a hard time staying on, but those are also a sort of minor nitpicks. Let's go ahead and shift the focus over to Kyoryu Green. Alright, so we got Kyoryu Green here. As I said, all of his articulation remains the same. There's no special issues that he has that make him different in terms of articulation. Same base mold, he just happens to have different details, and he looks really good. Probably my favorite of the two. I could be a bit biased since it's my favorite too of the design, and probably one of my favorites overall. But really nice looking. As you can see, the helmet looks really good. Nice proportionately done there. Really nice shine to it. The details everywhere else are really well done. They're very similar in design, obviously, being from the same team, with just a few minor details. As you can see there, if I can get this to zoom right, the belt looks really good. We're just going to get a blurry cut. But overall, very nice looking. My same problems persist with it as the armed on is a bit difficult to get on and the hands have difficulty staying on, but they do feel more like nitpicks and overall solid figures. I'm going to see if I can't catch up with it. Come on, we can do this. No, we can't. He doesn't want us to see his crotch. Sorry, guys. But yeah, overall, still a very solid figure. One other thing just to show is that both of these belts here can turn like that. So that is a good thing if you want to do those various poses. But overall, still, as you can see, a really nice and awesome looking figure. So now I guess we will head on to a final verdict. So for the most part, I really do like these figures. As I said at the beginning of the review, I had a little bit of problems with Kyoryu Red, and some of those still stand, but overall I think these are really, really nice figures. The details on them all look really nice. The articulation is very well done. There's no loose joint problems or anything like that to speak of in them, which is nice. My only problems really come from the shoulders being a bit strange and kind of skinny and showing a lot of, you know, dead space. And then, you know, from the fact that the armed on parts are a bit difficult to change out so that I worry about them breaking. But other than that, these are still really good figures. Well accessorized, that sounds really funny, but really good looking figures, especially since this line is sort of dwindling right now. If you want really good representations of the Kyoryugers or for the future Power Rangers Dino Charge, these are definitely the way to go. They're really, really great figures, and most of my stuff, you know, my complaints really feels more like nitpicks, because overall I still do really enjoy these figures and can recommend them. And plus, they have some really awesome parts with them. Like, look at the armed on parts. Lots of different variety to do. So overall, I do recommend them. But until next time, make sure you check out the Crazy Podcast at writersrangersrambles.com, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, it's Dawson Rider, signing out.